Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to our weekly satsang program. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend this class. So, today we'll be discussing a very special pastime of the Lord Ram, as Lord Ram's appearance day is coming. So, we thought of discussing this pastimes of Lord Ram from Ramayana. So, as we always begin, we'll begin with a prayer to Lord Ram. रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः. So this is a beautiful verse in glorification of Lord Ram. The pastimes of Lord Ram are unlimited. So many wonderful pastimes are there in Ramayana, and many other great devotees have also discussed and written books about Ram. One of the very famous books which we discuss from is Valmiki Ramayana. There is Tulsi Ramayana. There is in South India, there is Kamba Ramayana. All these are very famous books on the pastimes of Lord Ram. So the pastimes of Lord Ram are unlimited. It is said that even if somebody can count the rays of sun, even if somebody can count the grains of sand in the entire planet Earth, even if somebody can count the snowflakes in the Arctic regions, still one cannot count the glories of Lord Ram or Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Nantam vidamyamami munayograjaste maya balasya purushasya kuto varaye gayan gunanda shishatanana adideva sheshodhunapi samavastanasya param. So this verse describes how wonderful the glories of Lord are. In the beginning of the creation, Brahmaji, he called Anant Shesh and he gave a service that you have to hold this entire Bhumandal above the ocean. So the Bhumandal is not this planet Earth. The Bhumandal is a completely different entity, and planet Earth is part of that Bhumandal. So, whenever any service is given, what is the first question which comes to the mind? कब तक करना है? कब तक करना है वो बताइए, फिर तो करेंगे, सोचेंगे करना है कि नहीं करना है. So Ananta Sheshi also asked, कब तक करना है? So Brahmaji said, you start singing the glories of Lord. When it comes to end, you can just leave that seva. Since beginning of creation, he is singing the glories of Lord. He has not come to an end till now. So glories of Lord are unlimited. Shesho dhunapi samavastya na asya param. Iske par nahi gaye abhi. Such are the glories of Lord. So this verse glorifies different names of Lord Ram. Different devotees would call him by different names. We have heard earlier also how Lord Dashrath Maharaj would call him Ram. Kaushalya would call Ramabhadra. Kaikai would call Ramachandra. Vashishta Muni would call Vedhase. Vedhase means one who knows the Vedas. And all the Ayodhyavasis would call him Raghunath. Nath कौन बोलते होंगे? Sita. Only Sita would call him Nath. And Sitapati कौन बुलाते होंगे? Mithilavasi. Yes. So Mithilavasi, because they are related to Sita, so Sitapati. So that's how. Yeah, Raghav is another name of Lord Ram. Ayodhyavasis बुलाते हैं उनको. There is another beautiful verse in glorification of Lord Ram. We'll all sing. Apadam apaharataram Dataram sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham Apada Apaharta, one who removes all the obstacles from the path. And Dataram Sarva Sampada, वो सब संपत्ति प्रदान करते हैं. Which संपत्ति? Not just the material sampatti, he gives the spiritual wealth. Anyone who goes to Lord Ram and asks for spiritual wealth, the devotion, देते हैं. Lokabhiramam Sri Ramam, and Lord Ram is attractive for everyone. Therefore, we offer our obeisances again and again to Lord Ram. So Lord Ram, his pastimes, as written in Ramayana, they are full of a particular flavor that is called as Karunaras. So some of us must have heard that one time there was a great sage, Valmiki Muni, and he went to take bath on the bank of Sarayu river, and he saw two crouch birds, two cranes, mating and having good time. At that time, a hunter shot an arrow, and the male bird was dead. And the female, she was crying very loudly, wailing. And when Valmiki Muni saw this scene, he became so disturbed and sad, he cursed that hunter. Ma nishada pratishtham tomaga shashvati sama yat kraunch mithunade kamavati kamamohita. He says, "O Nishad, for this act of shooting arrow at this time when they were enjoying, you will go to hell." And then he came back to his ashram and he was wondering, why did I curse? It was a profession of this hunter. So why I became so upset that I cursed him? He didn't like that he cursed a hunter just for killing a bird. As he was contemplating, क्या हो गया, क्यों कर दिया मैंने ऐसा? Brahmaji appeared in front of him. And he said, "O Valmiki Muni, this is the will of providence. It is a desire of the Lord. Because you spoke that shloka in a particular meter. That shlok was full of shok. It was the outcome of a very sad heart. So Brahmaji said, you have to write Ramayana in that same tune, same meter." So रामायण में ना करुण रस बहुत है, उसमें हंसी मजाक ज्यादा नहीं है. हमने कभी सुना नहीं होगा ना रामायण में कोई हंसी मजाक चल रहा है. कृष्ण लीला में होता है हंसी मजाक और फिर बाकी सब में भी हो जाता है, पर रामायण में नहीं हंसी मजाक. कृष्ण में तो बहुत है हंसी मजाक, लीलाएं बहुत ही हैं ऐसी. But Lord Ram's pastimes, Lord Ram, he is dharma parayan. Different avatars are in different moods. Lord Ram is dharma parayan, Maryada Purushottam Ram. That's why people like Lord Ram. जो बोलते हैं वही करते हैं और सीधे खड़े रहते हैं, टेढ़े मेढ़े नहीं है भाई. He is straightforward. ये कृष्ण ना बोलते कुछ और हैं, करते कुछ और हैं और खड़े भी टेढ़े रहते हैं. So that's how many people, they don't, have some attraction for Krishna. ये तो ऐसे भगवान है, टेढ़े मेढ़े हैं, बोलते कुछ हैं, गड़बड़ी करते हैं, हमेशा अपनी बात भी नहीं मानते. वो वचन दिया युद्ध में अस्त्र नहीं उठाऊंगा, एंड ही इज पिकिंग अप वेपन्स. राम को देखिए, जो बोला वही किया. एक पत्नी व्रत लिया, यहाँ पे देखो 16,108. मतलब ये क्या है? आपके राम, आपके भगवान कैसे हैं? So that's how Lord Ram, he has come in this world to establish dharma. Maryada Purushottam Ram. कृष्ण को क्या बोलते हैं? उनको लीला पुरुषोत्तम बोलते हैं. वो लीला करने में एकदम नेक्स्ट लेवल में है. Nobody can challenge Krishna in pastimes. And his pastimes are very difficult to understand sometimes. ऐसा कैसे करती है? So Ram is dharma parayan, Krishna is prema parayan. He is always, he says in Bhagavad Geeta, I am equal to everyone, but then he says but बोल दिया, मतलब पहले वाला वो सब नलिफाई हो गया. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshu asti na priyaha. I am equal to everyone. Nobody is dear to me. Nobody is enemy to me. But बोल दिया मतलब पहले वाला सब ले पाए. But those who worship me, I take care of them separately. One of the names of Krishna is Swanam Paksha Poshanam. अपने पक्ष का पोषण करते हैं. अपना आदमी साइड में लो इसको. अलग से ट्रीटमेंट है डिवोटीज के लिए. Lord Ram is straightforward. One person told one, dhobi, he started making some comment. His wife came back home little late and he said, I cannot accept you. I am not like Lord Ram. Lord Ram has brought a lady who has lived in another house for 1 year. I cannot do so. So Ram ji to Maryada Purushottam hai. So he had to take that heavy decision. He banished Sita to forest. And Sita also didn't start women's liberation movement. ऐसा कैसा कर दिया? मुझे कैसे भेज सकते हैं? सब नारी शक्ति प्रयोग करूंगी मैं. No, she also understood the reason. Because Lord Ram, he is king. He has to set standards. So she supported him. So Lord Ram's pastimes are straightforward. Dharma Parayan. So today we'll be discussing some of the pastimes of Lord Ram. And next week also we'll continue the discussion. So actually आज का क्लास वो by mistake रामनवमी का क्लास हो गया. Because I had told अनुज प्रभु कि ये फ्राइडे को रामनवमी का क्लास है. Because ये संडे को रामनवमी है. I was thinking like that. तो मैंने उनको बताया, फिर मेरे को याद आया, अरे बाप रे, ये संडे को तो नहीं है, नेक्स्ट संडे. एंड आई फॉरगॉट टू टेल हिम. एंड वो तो नेक्स्ट लेवल पे रहते हैं. उन्होंने सीधा सीधा डाल दिया. So then I remembered, I realized, अरे ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं है, राम जी की लीला है. So we'll hear Lord Ram's pastimes 2 weeks. So this story is written by Valmiki Muni as instructed by Brahma जी. 7:45 हुए हैं, 9 बजे तक करेंगे हम लोग राम कथा. So as Brahmaji told Valmiki, you start writing this beautiful pastime of Lord Ram and in the same tune. So Valmiki, he is also a very, very powerful sage. Earlier he was a hunter. I think some of us must be knowing the background of Valmiki Muni. He was a hunter. And he became a devotee by the mercy of Narad Muni. And Valmika means, Valmiki नाम कैसे पड़ गया? जो तपस्या करने गए ना ये, an ant hill was made by the ants around him. So ant hill in Hindi is called as Valmik. So इसलिए Valmiki Muni उनका नाम पड़ गया. So Valmiki Muni, he wrote this beautiful pastime of Lord Ram. And before that, before beginning this story writing, one time Narad Muni visited Valmiki, and Valmiki Muni asked Narad Muni, can you tell me who is that personality currently on this planet who is Dharmagya, who knows Dharma, who is always grateful to everyone, who is always truthful? So many qualities he asks. And Narad Muni says there is only one personality, that is Lord Ram. The first chapter of Valmiki Ramayana is a brief story of entire Ramayana in 100 verses. That is spoken by Narad Muni to Valmiki. खाली 100 श्लोकों में पूरी रामायण सुना दी उन्होंने. And then Valmiki Muni elaborated that 100 verses into how many? How many verses are there in Ramayana? किसी को मालूम है? हाँ जी, there are 1 lakh verses in Ramayana. So that is how the great devotees are. That is how scriptures are. They can be summarized in some verses, just like in the end of the ninth canto of Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami summarized entire story of Krishna in 2 verses. 2 श्लोकों में पूरी कृष्ण लीला सुना दी. सो परीक्षित महाराज बोले, अरे अरे अरे, ऐसा कैसे? मैं तो 90 अध्याय सुनने के लिए बैठा था, आपने दो श्लोकों में खत्म कर दिया. वो खुश नहीं हो गए. थैंक यू वेरी मच, प्रभुपाद की जय, महाप्रसाद गोविंद. He said, "Oh, I am not hungry and thirsty. Don't think naishati dussaha shunmam tyaktodam apimadate pibantam tvanmukham bhoja chutam harikathamritam." Hare Krishna. So Parikshit is telling Shukdev Goswami, please don't think I am hungry and thirsty. Because he was fasting, right? पानी भी नहीं, प्रसाद भी नहीं, कुछ नहीं. हमको तो मालूम है प्रोग्राम के बाद प्रसाद इज देयर. सो वी आर, और घर पे जाके तो प्रसाद ले लेंगे अगर नहीं भी यहाँ पे खत्म भी हो गया तो. बट परीक्षित, he had taken a vow, I'll not eat and drink. And he is really hankering to hear कि भाई सुनना है, आप सुनाते रहिए और सुनाइए. Don't think I'm hungry and thirsty. So Shukdev Goswami then described entire 90 chapters. Similarly, Valmiki Muni, he was told by Narad Muni entire Ramayana in 100 verses. And then Valmiki is writing this Ramayana. And after writing this Ramayana, he thought that I should teach this Ramayana to somebody who will go around and speak this to everyone. That time, Love and Kush, Mother Sita was staying in the ashram of Valmiki Muni. And Valmiki was given a vision that he could see the entire pastimes of Lord Ram since the beginning. And he wrote everything. And then he taught Love and Kush this beautiful story of Lord Ram. And then Love and Kush, they were ordered down. Now you go and preach this to everyone. Just recite this Ramayana to everyone. So these small, Rishi Putras, they were small sages. They were singing this Ramayana everywhere. They reached Ayodhya. And all the Ayodhya-vasis were so very mesmerized hearing from these 2 little boys wonderfully singing Ram Katha. So the news reached Lord Ram कि भाई ये 2 छोटे से बालक हैं और बहुत सुंदर राम कथा सुना रहे हैं. So he said, please call them in the sabha. I will also hear. So Love and Kush, they come and they start reciting this beautiful story of Lord Ram since beginning, since birth. And all the Dwarka-vasis were absorbed. In between, some funny things are, all the Ayodhya-vasis are absorbed. Thank you. आप लोग अभी जगह हुए. All the Ayodhya-vasis were absorbed. And if some funny things are coming, they are laughing and they are ऐसा हंसते हंसते किसी के पीठ में मारे क्या point बोले वाह. And Lord Ram, he is sitting on the throne in the top at a raised place and he is thinking, यार मुझे इतना मजा नहीं आ रहा है, इन लोग को ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है, मेरी कथा चल रही है, and these are enjoying more. So he thought maybe because I am sitting up here alone and all the Ayodhya-vasis are sitting together. So that's how maybe I am not experiencing that ecstasy. Maza nahi aa raha itna. So Lord Ram, very quietly he stepped down and he sat in the middle of all the Ayodhya-vasis. And nobody realized that Ramji bagal mein baithe hain. And if some funny thing is happening, somebody is laughing and slapping on the back of Lord Ram only. Are kya point bola malum hai dekho. That is absorption and Lord Ram is enjoying it. So that is the absorption of a devotee in Ram Katha or Krishna Katha. Nothing else matters. Even Lord Ram likes to be with the devotees and hear about his story. That is the beauty of Lord Ram's Leela. That's why all the gopis, why they would go and complain to Mother Yashoda कि आज ये कृष्ण ने ये किया, आज ये चोरी की, उधर से मक्खन चुराया, मेरा मटकी फोड़ी. Why? You know why? Because they were actually churning this butter so that Krishna comes and steals it. तो फिर complain क्यों करना है? That was their purpose, that Krishna comes to our house and steals. You know why they would complain? Any guesses?
इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए कृष्ण आएंगे फिर
श्री कृष्ण
कृष्णा से
स्टोरी और बनेगी
नहीं. अजी?
स्टोरी और ज्यादा मतलब बात कर सकते हैं एक दूसरे से.
Okay, yeah, that is there. But they are thinking कि we are seeing these pastimes. Mother Yashoda, उनके घर में तो कृष्ण कभी चोरी करते नहीं. So she is not getting to hear these wonderful pastimes. So let's go and tell her. And they would keep on singing. So that's how the stories of Lord, they are so attractive. So the story of Lord Ram, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter 9th verse, जन्म भगवद गीता लाए हैं नहीं लाए. ओके, एनीवेज हम लोग रिसाइट करते हैं. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नयति मामेति स्वर्जुना. So in this verse Krishna is saying janma karma cha me, my birth, my activities, they are divya, they are transcendental. एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वतः. आई थिंक दूसरा ही लगा दीजिए. स्ट्रेंजर लाए हैं? Oh, स्ट्रेंजर नहीं लाए. एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वतः, one who knows them in full. हाँ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. त्यक्त्वा देहम, after leaving this body, पुनर्जन्म न इति. One who hears these pastimes, what will happen? After leaving this body, they will not get this body again. That is the declaration of Krishna. So these pastimes of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they are transcendental. They are not ordinary pastimes. कि भाई कोई भी कुछ भी करके जाएंगे तो हम लोग सुन लेंगे. No. So these are the beautiful pastimes which Lord Ram has performed. So there was a great king, Dashrath Maharaj, and he had many wives. He had how many wives? Yeah? He had more than 350 wives. Out of them, 3 were the main, prominent queens. Why he had more than 350 wives? Because, Parshuram, he had taken a vow that I will destroy all the Kshatriyas. But exception is if somebody is getting married, I'll not kill him. So whenever Dashrath will hear the news कि परशुराम आ रहे हैं, so you tell him शादी arrange करो, arrange a marriage. So ऐसा करते करते उन्होंने 350 विवाह कर लिए. The prominent ones were Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was the favorite one. He had everything. He was a very expert king. All the citizens would love him very nicely. He was ruling the kingdom for 60,000 years. He had no son. And for king, son is very, very important because son will take the legacy, son will become the king and he will rule the citizens. So he was very sad. So somebody said, there is another huge story, but somebody said, please do a yajna and you should call a great sage. His name is Rishya Shringa. If he comes and he does the yajna for you, then you will get a son. The story of Rishya Shringa is very interesting. एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है उनकी. ऋषि श्रृंग जो थे ना, उनके पिताजी, his father, one time he was doing great tapasya, and whenever somebody does tapasya, who gets disturbed? Indra. So Indra sent a very beautiful apsara. And this apsara came and she started, dancing and doing all the different things. So this sage, he opened his eyes and he said, "What do you want?" "I don't want to, get entangled with you." So he wanted son. He gave some of his energy and he left. So this apsara, she didn't know what to do with this, energy which the sage gave. So what she did, she put that in the womb of a deer. So from the womb of a deer, a human baby was born. And he had ears of a deer. So human baby, ears of a deer. And his name was Rishya Shringa. Shringi matlab deer wale rishi. So this Apsara, she didn't want to take care of the child. She left. And now this deer is alone with the child. So ye deer, she brings the child to this rishi. Bole aapka putra hai. So this sage, he becomes so upset. He says all the women are like this only. Sorry, मतलब यहाँ पे ये ऋषि की वाणी है, मेरी वाणी नहीं है. प्रभु जी ने मेरे को बुलाया, एक श्लोक सुनाइए आप. तो भर्तृहरि का स्टोरी सुना है आपको मैंने? वो बताऊंगा, स्टोरी कंप्लीट करूंगा. भर्तृहरि का स्टोरी अच्छा है. So Bhartrihari was a great king and he had a very beautiful wife. And he was so attracted to his wife, he had written 100 verses glorifying every limb of the wife's body. उसका नाम रखा श्रृंगार शतक. कोई भी ऐसा किया है क्या आज तक? 100 श्लोक लिखे हैं किसी ने? कोई है यहाँ पे? So that's how he was obsessed. One day, a sage came. Somebody gave him a ring. And he said, "Oh king, you should give this ring to someone whom you love the most." तो किसको दिया? पत्नी को दिया. पत्नी को भी वही बोले, ये उसको देना चाहिए जो आप सबसे ज्यादा जिसको प्रेम करते हैं. So she was in love with the minister of the kingdom. So she gave to the minister. मिनिस्टर को भी वही बोला कि इसको देना है जिससे आप सबसे ज्यादा प्रेम करते हैं. Minister was in love with one very very beautiful prostitute of the kingdom. उसने उसको दे दिया और उसको भी क्या बोला? उसको देना है जिससे आप सबसे ज्यादा प्रेम करते हैं. And you know what happened next? She was in love with the king. So she gave back the ring to the king. And as he got that ring, he understood the whole connection. राजा है ना, और उसको इतना झटका लग गया बेचारे को. He gave up kingdom. He became a sannyasi. बोले मुझे ये सब कुछ लेना देना ही नहीं है मेरे को इन सब से. Earlier he had written 100 verses glorifying the beauty of his wife. Now he wrote 100 verses glorifying renunciation. उसका नाम रखा वैराग्य शतक. और एक श्लोक उन्होंने लिखा है, या चिंतयामि सततम मयि सा विरक्ता साप्यन्यमिच्छति जनो अपि अन्यसक्ता अस्मत्कृते च परितुष्यति काचिदन्या धिक्ताम च तम च मदनम च इमाम च माम च. तो क्या बोल रहे हैं उसमें? या चिंतयामि सततम, मैं जिसका चिंतन हमेशा करता था. मयि सा अविरक्ता, वो मुझसे बिल्कुल विरक्त थी. उसको मेरे प्रति कुछ भी प्रेम नहीं था. सा अपि अन्यम इच्छति, वो किसी और को ही प्रेम करती थी. सा अपि अन्यम इच्छति जनो, एंड वो जिसको प्रेम करती थी अपि अन्य असक्त, He was attached to somebody else. So, to hell with my wife. Diktam. Diktam cha tam cha, to hell with the lover of my wife. Madanam cha, to hell with Cupid, who made a fool of all of us. Imam cha, to hell with this whole thing and to hell with me also. तो इतना फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गए बेचारे, सन्यासी ले लिए वो. तो ये साधु जो थे, क्यों कनेक्शन है इसका, इसके लिए बताया स्टोरी. सो ये साधु, ही इज थिंकिंग, हाउ कैन शी डू दिस? How can a woman do this? I think the woman raises like this only. I will raise my son in such a way that no women will come near him. So he started living in a forest, and he didn't allow any female species, not just human. No animal female will be allowed. So एक बार रोमपाद नाम के राजा हुए, उनके राज में अकाल पड़ गया. And they were told, if Rishishring comes here and he does the yajna, then you will get rains. Rishishring तो अलाउड ही नहीं है बाहर आना कहीं पे. He was now a young man. अब पूरे जीवन में उसने स्त्री का चेहरा देखा नहीं है. No female entity anywhere around her, because he was thinking, this lust is so very dangerous. I will protect my child. So राजा ने सोचा अभी कैसे लेके आए इसको. So he called few beautiful ladies and dressed them as rishis. कि भाई आप जाइए और ऋषिश्रृंग को लेके आइए. So Rishishring, all these sages, the ladies in the form of rishis, they came and they started coming and walking near the ashram of this Rishishring. And Rishishring, the first time he is seeing somebody, they are looking very attractive and beautiful. He doesn't know ये females. उनको लगा कोई बहुत ही सुंदर कुछ तो ऋषि हैं. He started serving them, massaging them. And as he is massaging, something is happening to him. बोले क्या हो रहा है? Ultimately, they brought him to this kingdom of Rompad. So this was Rishishring. Dashrath Maharaj, he called Rishishring. And Rishishring did a big sacrifice. And from that sacrifice, a very, very beautiful celestial denizen appeared. He was having a payasam in his hand, sweet rice. And he told that, you distribute this payasam in your 3 prominent kings. So Dashrath Maharaj, he distributed these payasam in 4 parts. 1 part he gave to Kaushalya, and then 2 parts he gave to Sumitra, and 1 he gave to Kaikeyi. In due course of time, Lord Ram appeared from the womb of Kaushalya. Sumitra gave birth to Lakshman and Shatrughna, Bharat nahi. Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharat. These words are also having some meanings. Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampanna Bahipran Iva Paraha. Lakshmana, he was Lakshmi Sampanna. What was the wealth Lakshman was carrying? Lakshman had only one wealth in his life. That is the wealth of a devotee. What is the wealth of a devotee? Sorry, sir, kya baat hai? So Lakshman was full of this wealth of seva. He never left service to Lord Ram. Even when he went to forest, he took a vow. I'll not eat anything, I'll not drink anything, I'll not sleep. For 14 years. That's why he's Lakshmi Sampanna. And Shatrughna Nitya Shatrughna Nita Preeti Puraskritaha. Shatrughna, he was described as the foremost of destroyers of the enemies. You know how many demons Shatrughna killed? Only one demon. Lavanasur. अगर बोला जाए ये सर्जन है, बहुत बड़े सर्जन है ये, कितनी सर्जरी की है मालूम है उन्होंने? एक। सो शत्रुघ्न क्यों बोल रहे हैं उनको? बिकॉज व्हाट इज द ग्रेटेस्ट एनिमी ऑफ अ डिवोटी? प्राइड, ईगो। किसी के नीचे नहीं झुकना है हमको। आई वॉन्ट दैट लोग मुझे आके थोड़ा बोले कितने अच्छे डिवोटी हैं, एंड एवरीबडी शुड कम एंड ग्लोरीफाई मी। ऋषिकेश कितने अच्छे डिवोटी हैं आप। वो उधर जा ही रहता हूँ। और कृषांगी को कितने सारे श्लोक आते हैं, देखो नंबर बोलो श्लोक बोलती है। कैसा लग रहा है? Which is easy, to serve Lord or to serve a devotee of the Lord?
The devotee of the Lord.
Which is easy to serve? अच्छा, क्यों भाई भक्त की सेवा करना इजी क्यों है? आप लोगों ने सेवा की नहीं, इसलिए आपको नहीं मालूम है। That shows that you have not served a devotee of the Lord. Serving a devotee of the Lord is the most difficult thing. क्योंकि भगवान की आप सेवा करेंगे ना, भगवान आपको कभी भी फीडबैक नहीं देंगे।
Lord accepts everything.
भगवान को भोग लगाएंगे तो कभी नहीं बोलेंगे नमक कम है उसमें, कैसा कुछ भी खिलाते रहते हैं। ये कल भी वही भोग लगाया था। क्या है ये ना? लॉर्ड नेवर गिव्स फीडबैक। डिवोटी का सेवा करिए तब पता चलेगा। आपने सेवा की नहीं है इसीलिए आपको मालूम नहीं है। हाँ ठीक है, उस पर कनेक्ट कर दीजिए। डिवोटी का सेवा है। भगवान ना बहुत दयालु है, कभी भी फीडबैक नहीं देते। एंड फीडबैक, हाउ ही गिव्स फीडबैक? ही गिव्स फीडबैक थ्रू हिज डिवोटीज ओनली। Hare Krishna. So he gives feedbacks to इसका आवाज अच्छा नहीं है इतना, वही लगा दीजिए। पहला फीडबैक लाइव डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हो गया।
प्रभु जी आप स्टैम्प लगा रहे हैं अपनी उस पे स्टेटमेंट पे।
वही लगा है।
हरे कृष्ण। एक्चुअली उसकी आवाज ज्यादा अच्छी है, इसकी आवाज नहीं आ
अच्छी
रही।
नहीं आती।
देखो सब लोग फीडबैक देना, मेरे को मत बोलिए आप। नहीं तो बोलेंगे प्रभु जी एक तो हमको ही भगा रहे हैं आप और हमको इतना। अभी अगर टाइम है तो स्ट्रेंजर लेके आ सकते हैं। हरे कृष्ण। Shatrugna, he was serving the devotee of Lord. He was serving Bharat. Lakshman was serving Lord Ram, and Shatrugna was serving Bharat. It is not easy to serve devotees, but the good or bad part is Lord is only pleased when we serve the devotees. भगवान की डायरेक्ट सेवा करते हैं ना, भगवान इतने प्रसन्न नहीं होते हैं। Lord is more pleased when we assist devotees in serving the Lord. That is pleasing to the Lord more. So that's why Shatrugna, he is glorified as Shatrugna, Nitya Shatrugna. He has destroyed the biggest enemy of ego. इनका सेवा क्यों करूं यार, मैं भी बड़ा डिवोटी हूं। Why should I serve this devotee? So that is important. And Bharata, Bharvahi iti Bharat. What is the burden which Bharat endured? कौन सा भार लिया उन्होंने? Raja, yes. He took the burden of ruling the kingdom. It was not easy. When Bharat, he came to know that he has to become the king, he said, nothing doing, I can never think like this. He went to forest to bring Lord Ram. And as Lakshman, Sita and Bharat, they are in the forest now. They are at Chitrakoot. It is a very peaceful place. No sound except the chirping of the birds and some animals, they hear the sound of rumbling of the chariots. It seemed that a huge army is coming. So Lord Ram tells Lakshman, just climb this tree and see what is happening. So Lakshman, he climbs the tree and he sees a huge army coming, and he sees the flag of Lakshman, of Bharat. He comes down and tells Lord Ram, this Bharat is not satisfied by sending you to forest. He wants to kill you. हाँ ऐसा बोलते हैं लक्ष्मण. He says, but I will never allow this to happen. I मजाक क्यों क्या कर रहे थे? पता नहीं ये पूरा ही हरिबोल हो गया स्पीकर. That's a good speaker. She said, I will never allow this to happen. ऐसे ही बोल देता मैं. Today I will destroy this entire army of Ayodhya and I will kill Bharat today. Oh Lord Ram, just give me your order. Yes. Lord Ram says, how can you think like this, Bharat? Lakshman. This Bharat is not coming to kill me, he is coming to take me back to Ayodhya. And because Lakshman, he made some comments, he judged Bharat. Koi bhi ho. When we judge someone without any proper reasoning, we have to suffer. Can anyone tell me what happened to Lakshman as a reaction of this? बेचारे लक्ष्मण किसको जज कर रहे हैं? भरत. Bharat, when he came back to Ayodhya, he was in Kekaya Desh because Dashrath had sent him to his maternal father's place. Nani ke yahan bheje the. So he was not there. He didn't know anything about the management of Lord Ram. He didn't know anything about anything happening in the Ayodhya. When he came back, he came to know that Lord Ram is not there. He comes to know that Kaikeyi has done all these things. He comes and falls at the feet of Kaushalya, and Kaushalya says, are you happy, Bharat? By doing this? Just imagine, मतलब इतना already दुख है. And it is like thunderbolt on his heart. And then somehow he convinces, he tells, no, I had nothing to do with this, oh mother. Then he goes to Vashishta. Vashishta also tells the same thing. And then he says, I'm going to forest to get Lord Ram. He meets Bhardwaj Muni. And Bhardwaj Muni says, are you not happy sending Ram to forest? Why have you come now with this army? You want to kill him? So many things are happening to Bharat. He's tolerating everything. And ये बेचारे भरत को लक्ष्मण क्या बोल रहे हैं? ये मारने आ रहे हैं. He is also judging. As a reaction to that, you know what happened? Yes. When that Marich came in the form of golden deer and took Ram away to the forest, and as this Marich is taking Ram deeper in the forest, because सीता मैया ने बोला इसको जीवित लेके आना, जब डिमांड पूरा करने में बहुत भागना भी पड़ता है. भागते जा रहे. And then at one point of time he realized, नहीं होगा ये. I can't catch him, I have to kill him. He shoots his arrows. And as this Marich is dying, he calls loudly in the voice of Lord Ram, hey Sita, hey Lakshman, please help me. And when Sita hears this, she says, Lakshman, please go immediately and save Lord Ram. Lakshman says, अरे ये राम की आवाज नहीं है. I know him. She says, no. It's Lord Ram only. Lakshman says, nothing is happening. Nothing will happen to Lord Ram. He is Supreme Lord. Sita says, please, you have to go now. Lakshman says, no, Ram has given me order that I have to stay here and protect you. Sita says, now I realized why you have come here. This is happening in the last year of 14 years of वनवास. 13 साल सेवा करने के बाद सीता मैया क्या बोल रही है इनको, अब मुझे पता चला आप क्यों आए हैं यहाँ पे. You want to enjoy with me. That's why you are not going. So just see. Lakshman judged somebody. As a reaction, somebody is misjudging him also. So it is so very important. We should not judge anyone based on some emotions and sentiments. Anybody, whoever they may be, they will suffer. लक्ष्मण भी बेचारे इतने, उनको भी परीक्षा हो गई, उनको भी सुनना पड़ गया. So that is Bharata. So as Lord Ram is about to be coronated, and suddenly Kaikeyi, she comes being poisoned by Manthara. Achha, who was the family deity of Lord Ram? Anyone knows? Ranganath Swami. Yes, thank you. So Ranganath Swami जो श्रीरंगम में है ना, वो भगवान राम के फैमिली डिटी हैं. बाद में उन्होंने विभीषण को गिफ्ट दिया है वो. तो कभी श्रीरंगम जाएंगे तो उसकी स्टोरी बताऊंगा डिटेल में.
Does the temple predate Ramayana?
Sorry, which temple?
रंगनाथ स्वामी का जो टेम्पल है, does it predate Ramayana?
Ranganath Swami is there since the beginning of the creation. It was coming in parampara. Brahma ji has worshipped that Ranganath Swami. वो कैसे प्रकट हुए हैं? He wanted to worship Lord Narayan, so he did a tapasya and यज्ञ से Ranganath Swami निकले हैं. Then he was worshipping. After some time, he gave to Ikshvaku, and then that's how it was coming in the parampara. It was given to Lord Ram. तो बाद में विभीषण जी जब वापस जा रहे थे, so then Vibhishan was saying, I don't want to go back to Lanka. मुझे भी इधर ही रहना है. I can't leave.
विष्णु के अवतार है रंगनाथ.
हाँ, विष्णु है. ब्रह्मा जी विष्णु की पूजा करना चाहते थे, उनको डीटीज चाहिए थे. जैसे अभी मनीष गुप्ता प्रभु डीटीज लेके आ रहे हैं पूजा करने के लिए. और बाय द वे संडे को आप सबको आना है. प्रभु जी भी इनवाइट करेंगे, मेरी तरफ से मैं इनविटेशन दे दूँ. So Ranganath Swami, he is a worshipable deity of Lord Ram. So Lord Ram, he is thinking the marriage is done and they are happy. Sita, Ram, they are having a good time in Ayodhya. And Lord Ram is thinking, मेरा पर्पस यहाँ पे आने का तो अलग है. I have to kill Ravan. इधर अयोध्या में रहेंगे तो रावण को कैसे मारेंगे? So he goes and prays to Ranganath. One Lord is praying to other Lord. You do something. नहीं तो इधर ही रह जाएंगे हम. सो यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानि भवति भारत, कैसे होगा अभ्युत्थान अधर्मस्य. सो रंगनाथ, he poisons the mind of Manthara. And then Manthara, she comes and she tells such harsh words. Ramayana describes in great detail as everyone in the Ayodhya, they are enjoying, they are celebrating कि कल भगवान राम का राज्य अभिषेक है. Everybody is happy.
कुछ सरस्वती को कहते हैं कि
हाँ, भगवान खुद तो नहीं करते हैं, भगवान अपने एजेंट्स को बोलते हैं, भाई आप इनका बुद्धि भ्रष्ट करो. जैसे रावण और कुंभकर्ण और विभीषण, ये तीनों तपस्या कर रहे थे. सो रावण, he asked benediction that I want to be the supreme controller in the entire universe. I should not be killed by any species. He didn't ask any protection from humans. Like humans से क्या protection चाहिए? ये लोग तो सब already जो भी है. And so Brahma ji gave benedictions. And then Devtas were thinking, ये Kumbhakarna is already so powerful. He is like huge like mountain. As he walks, he crushes people by his feet. He eats Devtas without benediction. अभी benediction मिलेगा तो क्या करेगा? So as Brahma ji is giving this benediction to Ravan, and then अभी कुंभकर्ण को देने ही वाले हैं, तो देवता के ब्रह्मा जी बोलते हैं, ब्रह्मा जी एक मिनट, आपको मालूम है इसका बैकग्राउंड क्या है? ऑलरेडी इतना डेंजरस है, आपने बेनेडिक्शन दिया तो क्या करेगा मालूम नहीं। तो ब्रह्मा जी से ओके ओके ठीक है, आई डू समथिंग। सो ही कॉल्स हिज वाइफ, पत्नी को ही बुलाना पड़ता है इमरजेंसी में। So, पत्नी कौन है? तो बोलते हैं सरस्वती, यू हैव अ बिग जॉब टू डू नाउ। What you have to do is you have to make him speak something which is useless. So Saraswati, as he is about to ask, he wanted to ask Indra asan. Indra ka asan chahiye mere ko. So Saraswati comes and sits on the tongue of Kumbhakara and what he says, Nidrasan. So ब्रह्मा जी इसके पहले की और कुछ बोले तथास्तु करके गायब। क्या मांगा मैंने, इतना हजारों हजारों साल की तपस्या करके मैंने निद्रासन मांग लिया। वैसे ही सरस्वती के थ्रू ही करते हैं सब। सो Rangnath inspired Mantara, and Mantara, she comes and poisons Kaikeyi. As she's seeing the wonderful festivities, she comes on the terrace of her, of the palace of Kaikeyi. She is a very very dear, servant of Kaikeyi. मायके से लेके आई थी Kaikeyi उसको। So as she sees, क्या इतना कौशल्या is giving charity of hundreds of cows. She is giving gold and all the precious gems in donation. क्या चल रहा है? Everybody is happy. So she goes and asks the servants of Kaushalya, क्या चल रहा है? So they say, you didn't know? अरे Lord Ram is getting coronated tomorrow. That is the happiest news we have heard. So Mantra, she starts burning with anger. She goes and tells Kekai, she goes and tells Kekai, oh Kekai, you have heard what is happening? Tomorrow is the coronation of Lord Ram. And before she says anything, Kekai, she says, oh, this is the happiest news you have given me. She takes out one of the precious pearl necklace and gives her. And Mantra throws that necklace on the ground. She says, oh, foolish lady. She had the right to say like that. And a great discussion happens between. So interesting thing is, Kekai is not convinced for a considerable amount of time. But because she heard again and again submissive oral reception. कई बार हम लोग सुनते हैं ना किसी के बारे में, if somebody comes and says, अरे मालूम है उसने क्या किया? मैं मालूम, I will tell. बताते हैं फिर. And then, अच्छा और अच्छा ऐसा किया, अच्छा और क्या किया बता तो? अच्छा ऐसा भी करते हो? Oh, I didn't know that. मुझे तो पहले से ही मालूम था. अच्छा बता दिया. If we start getting interested and start giving some indication that we are liking it, पक्का गड़बड़ हो गया. Here is Mantra, who is trying to tell something to Kaikeyi and she is not accepting for considerable amount of time. So it is very very important whom we are listening to. What are we listening to? क्या सुन रहे हैं? किससे सुन रहे हैं? That is very important. Because words are very very powerful. Till the time somebody speaks, everybody looks the same. कौवा और कोयल दोनों काले ही लगते हैं. कैसे पता चलता है? काका कृष्णा काका पिका को भेदयो वसंत समये प्राप्ते काका काका पिका पिका. कौवा भी काला है, कोयल भी काली है. कैसे पता चलेगा? वसंत समय. When somebody speaks, some people when they speak it looks like, oh, आप बोलते रहिए. Very sweet. When some people speak, कब खत्म करेंगे मालूम नहीं, बोलते जा रहे हैं. So words should give pleasure. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Sometimes when we know some truth which is not so good, ये व्यक्ति हैं इनके बारे में I know some really right thing which is very very bad. And if I am going and telling somebody, मालूम है क्या किया इसने, ये कैसे हैं? We may be right in speaking that, but should we speak that? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Anudvega karam. We should speak something which should not agitate others' minds. Speak truth in a way that should not agitate others. So Mantra, she poisons Kaikeyi, and then ultimately Kaikeyi, she goes to, मतलब पिछले समय में ये भी अच्छा होता था नहीं, गुस्सा करना है तो गुस्सा करने के लिए एक रूम है, कोप भवन. आजकल ऐसा लग्जरी नहीं रहता है नहीं, भाई राजा है. So she gives up all her ornaments, dresses herself in black sari and enters that Kopa Bhavan. And Dashrath, he was very attached to Kaikeyi. And ultimately, Kaikeyi, she asked those two benedictions. Send Lord Ram to forest for 14 years and make Bharat the king. And then ultimately Lord Ram, when he was called to tell this, it is described by Valmiki. On the face of Lord Ram, there was not even a single expression of sadness. That is Lord. कुछ हाव भाव में परिवर्तन नहीं हुआ. He heard, ठीक है, कल राज्याभिषेक है और आज बोल रहे हैं आपको वनवास जाना है. He agrees. He says, okay, I'll follow. And then ultimately, Lakshman says, I also want to come with you, O Lord Ram. Then Sita also says, Lord Ram says, you know, Sita, what will happen in the forest? You'll have to sleep on the ground. You'll not get to eat any cooked food, only kandamul, phal. There are ferocious animals in the forest. There are demons in the forest. So you please stay in palace. Sita says, I thought my father has married to a very great man. But it seems you are a very coward person. You can't protect your wife. गुस्से में ऐसा बोल देती हैं वो भी. So ultimately, Lord Ram, he says, okay, please come. She says, I will walk ahead of you. And I will remove all the thorns from the path. Please take me with you. And then ultimately Lakshman comes and Lakshman says, Lakshman को बोलते भी नहीं कि आप मत आओ. Because he says, ये तो मानने वाले नहीं है, ये तो साथ में रहेंगे. He was like a shadow of Lord Ram. There is this beautiful story. भगवान राम के बाल लीला की ज्यादा स्टोरी नहीं है. One time Vashishta Muni, he saw that Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna, they were kept in different cradles. And they were crying. रुक ही नहीं रहे, चुप ही नहीं हो रहे. So Vashishta Muni comes and he says, please place the cradle of Lakshman near Ram. So as they do that, the intensity of crying decreases. Still they are crying. And then what Vashishta does, he picks up Lakshman and puts in the cradle of Lord Ram. Saath mein. Then he's happy. Then they stop crying. That's how close they were. So Lakshman, he goes to Sumitra and he says, oh mother, please give me permission. So Sumitra, she speaks a beautiful verse. All of you will please recite. Ramam Dashratham Vidhi Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi Gachatata Yatha Sukham. So he says, Lakshman, from today onwards, please consider Ram to be Dashrath. Ramam Dashratham Vidhi. Please consider Sita to be like me. And for you, From now onwards, forest is Ayodhya. In this way, please go and serve Lord Ram happily. She says, don't get absorbed in seeing the beautiful face of Lord Ram. Please serve Ram. In services, sometimes we get absorbed in the happiness which we get in services that we forget the service only. अभिषेक करने में मजा आ रहा है, लेकिन बाकी लाइन लगती जा रही है, नहीं नहीं मेरे को अभिषेक करना है थोड़ा सा. So services may giving us happiness, but the purpose of service is to give happiness to the Supreme Lord and the devotees we just discussed. Yes, Prabhuji.
The mothers already see him as a lord.
Yeah. That is the difference between Krishna Leela and Ram Leela. In Krishna Leela, Yashoda Maya and Nanda Maharaj, they never accepted him as God. Although they knew that he may be God, but their knowledge of Godhood, Bhagwan ki Bhagavatta ka Gyan, even if somebody tells, maybe your son is Supreme Lord. So Nanda Maharaj says, मालूम है क्या करता है ये? Whenever there is lightning in the sky, he hides behind the pallu of Yashoda. ये कैसे भगवान है? Lord is absolute truth, right? ये कितना झूठ बोलता है मालूम है? He steals. कौन से भगवान चोरी करते हैं बताओ? So that's the difference between Krishna's pastimes. But ये देवकी वसुदेव के बारे में ऐसा नहीं है. देवकी and Vasudev, they know that he is God. Nanda, Yashoda, they never know. They never accept that he is God. The gopis, they tell Krishna, if you dance, we'll give you sweet. Krishna is dancing. And they say, if you sing, I will give you butter. And Krishna is singing. Gopi bhisto bito nrityat bhagavan balavat kvachit udgayati kvachin mugdhas tadvasho daru yantravat. He becomes controlled by his devotees like a puppet. Daru yantra. दारू मतलब वो नहीं, हाँ, दारू मतलब वुड. दीक्षा होती है ना तो नाम दूसरा मिलता है ना. एक बार एक डिवोटी का दीक्षा हुआ तो उनको नाम दिया दारुक दास. दारुक भगवान के ये ड्राइवर का नाम है भाई, दारुक. तो वो गए वापस और एक डिवोटी ने पूछा, प्रभु जी क्या नाम मिला? बोला दारुका दास. दारू का दास मतलब वो. So he becomes puppet in the hands of his devotees. Some of the friends of Krishna, they climb on the shoulder of Krishna and they say, एक कौन सा बड़ा आदमी है तुम, कौन सा भगवान है तुम? Krishna sometimes tells his friends, in past life I was Lord Ram. कल ही तो तेरे को हराया था मैंने. What type of Lord you are? सखा मोरे शुद्ध भावे स्कंधे आरोहण, तुम्ही कौन बड़ लोक तुम्ही आमासम. तुम कौन सा बड़ा आदमी? हम सेम ही हैं. लॉर्ड राम के केस में ऐसा नहीं है, विष्णु के केस में ऐसा नहीं है. नोबडी कैन टेल विष्णु के कंधे पे चलना थोड़ा घूम के आते, ऐसा नहीं होता है. So that's Lord Ram. So all the parents and mothers, they know कि ये भगवान है. So now Lakshman, Ram, Sita, they put Valkal Vastra. They give up their royal clothes. Valkal means the clothes of tree bark. Lord Ram puts that Valkal Vastra. Lakshman also puts. And Kaikeyi, she was so hard-hearted. That is the power of illusion. She herself brings a cloth of tree bark for Sita. And Sita, she is a very young girl now, 15, 16 years old maybe. She doesn't know how to put it. So Lord Ram helps her put that Valkala Vastra. It was really, painful. Everybody is crying in the kingdom. And as Lakshman, Sita and Ram, Sita and Lakshman, they are leaving. Entire Ayodhya starts leaving with them. And they start shouting loudly, let Ayodhya become forest and let forest become Ayodhya. We are all going with Lord Ram. So on the way, so this Sumantra, who is the personal minister of Dashrath, he is taking Ram, Lakshman, Sita to the forest on a chariot. All the all the Ayodhyavasis are following him. It is evening time now. Everybody goes to sleep. Next day, early morning, Ram gets up and he wakes up Lakshman, Sita, and Sumantra and tells, we have to leave now. Everybody is sleeping. Everybody is fast asleep, and Ram leaves. And that's how, if we are not attentive, if we are a little lazy, we may miss to achieve Krishna consciousness. All the Ayodhyavasis are sleeping. बेचारे दिन भर चल रहे हैं ना. राम तो रथ पे हैं, दिन भर चल रहे हैं, बेचारे थक गए. And Ram tells Sumantra, please take the chariot in such a way that nobody can find where the chariot went. So Sumantra takes the chariot from the banks of a river Saryu. Ki chariot ke impressions will not be seen. And next morning they all get up. They start searching frantically. Kahan hai Ram? Ram chale gaye. They go back to Ayodhya in a very, very sad state. Then Lakshman, he reaches a place which is owned by a person called as Guha, Nishad Raj Guha. And he welcomes him and says, oh Lord, you can live in this place and stay for 14 years. Lord Ram says, no. I have been given this instruction by my father that I should stay in forest for 14 years. I am not living in this city. Guha, he ultimately says, okay. And he prepares a very beautiful bed for Ram and Sita to take rest. Ram says, no. For next 14 years, my bed would be straw. And he prepares a straw bed for Lakshman also. Lakshman says, no, I am not sleeping. I will protect Lord Ram and Sita. Ye bolte are, we are there, don't worry. Lakshman didn't say, पक्का सेवा करेंगे ना आप ठीक से, मैं सो जाऊं. Lakshman says, no, I can't sleep. How can I sleep? In fact, he says, I will not get sleep because it is so very painful to see Lord Ram sleeping on this straw bed. He used to sleep in palace on very, very soft bed, bedecked with gold and pearls and diamonds. So Ram and Guha, they are whole night talking about the pastimes of Lord Ram. Next day morning, Guha says, okay, I'll take you across the Saryu river. Before that, he says, but एक minute. I have heard the glories of your feet. Your lotus feet are very powerful. I have already one daughter and I am somehow struggling to get her married. I just came to know that your lotus feet had made a stone into a lady. सुना है आप लोगों ने अहिल्या के बारे में? So वो बोलते हैं देखो, I will take you across the river, but first I have to wash your feet completely so that none of the grains of sand is there on your feet. So Lord Ram, he smiles. He knows that he wants to get the dust and the water which has washed the feet of Supreme Lord. Which is, अच्छा भगवान के चरणामृत ज्यादा पावरफुल है कि भक्त के? बच्चे ही बोल रहे हैं. If Lord and his devotees, they are there, If Lord gives all the privilege to his devotees, so but natural we should always understand. If we get Bhakta Pada Dhuliya, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avasheshe, Teen Mahabal. There are three very, very powerful things to advance in spiritual life. What are they? Bhakta Pada Dhuliya, the dust of the feet of the devotees. सबके चरण छूते हैं ना? क्यों छूते हैं? Ideally, Srila Prabhupada would never allow anyone to touch his feet. You know what happens when we touch the feet of somebody? क्या होता है?
Bring the positive energy from the person. और अपने
मतलब हमको तो पॉजिटिव आती है, उसको क्या होता है जिसका छूते हैं? मालूम है क्या होता है?
negative in the karma.
We give our karmas to that person. You know, that is what happens when we touch the feet of somebody. So therefore, generally, ideally, none of the devotees, they allow others to touch their feet. Because personally, they feel, I am not a devotee at all. So why should I allow others to touch my feet? And secondly, you know, why all the people, they want to touch the feet of some saintly persons? आशीर्वाद लेना अलग बात है, लेकिन उसमें बड़ा बहुत बड़ा विज्ञान है. वो कर्मा देते हैं, कर्मा सब ट्रांसफर हो जाते हैं. That is one way. You know, one time Srila Prabhupada, he was talking to one of the very, very great South Indian devotee. And he was telling Swamiji, Srila Prabhupada, you are now living and your disciples are making your deities and putting in temples. No, Lord, Prabhupada was there and Prabhupada की मूर्तियां बना के Prabhupada के सब मंदिर में रखे, जैसे अभी भी रहते हैं ना. अभी मंदिर गए ना आप लोग, Prabhupada की मूर्ति है, तो अभी Prabhupada तो नहीं है. So Prabhupada was there, still the devotees, they started making the deities of Prabhupada. So this person, he came from Hyderabad and he said, Swamiji, you should not allow this. You know what will happen? People will come and touch your deities' feet and you will also get their karma. Srila Prabhupada said, you know, that's why I have come here for. To take the karma of the people and give them devotion. So that was Srila Prabhupada. He can do that. So that is the power of the dust of the devotees' feet. Bhakta Pad Dhuli, Bhakta Pad Jal. भगवान के भक्तों का पाद प्रक्षालित जल, you know, देखा होगा ना आपने, करते हैं ना, पांव चरण धोते हैं. And if some devotee has taken some prasad और कुछ बच गया है, and if the devotee gives it, that is also very powerful. Yes, Prabhu.
He said that he did not permit others to touch his feet,
Yeah.
but he allowed others to touch the deities.
No, it was not in control ना. अभी deities को कौन आके टच कर रहा है, नहीं कर रहा है, ठीक है, अभी क्या करेंगे. But at least the purpose was different. The purpose was disciples should worship the guru. But if some outsider comes and आते ही है ना कुछ लोग, तो आके चरण, वो भगवान के जो भी डीटी हैं उनके पांव छू रहे हैं, और कोई भी डिवोटी किसी का भी मूर्ति है तो लोगों को मालूम ही नहीं है ना ये कौन है, सबके पांव छूने अभी. That is there.
He had a very high status. Would it not be okay for him to accept the karmas of the bhakts who are wanting to touch his feet?
That's what he is doing.
No, well, personally he would not permit.
Personally, a devotee never feels that he is such a great devotee, whoever they may be. That is, if a devotee thinks, मैं अभी ना बड़ा devotee बन गया, मैं पिछले 2 साल से 16 माला कर रहा हूँ. आप कब से कर रहे हैं? 2 महीने से ही कर रहे हैं. अरे रे रे, मैं तो अभी बड़ा devotee हूँ. So a devotee never feels that he is or she is a bigger devotee. Always humble. But when it comes to giving instructions, there should be no compromise. But personally, a devotee should always feel that I am no one. Whatever I have, it is by the mercy of Guru Parampara. So ultimately, Ram, Lakshman, Sita, they cross Saryu, and then ultimately reach Bharadwaj Muni's ashram, and then ultimately reach Chitrakoot. So now, at Chitrakoot, as Lord Ram is staying at Chitrakoot, Bharat comes to know Bharat is there now in Ayodhya. He takes the entire army and reaches, and as Bharat and Lord Ram they meet, still today, how many of you been to Chitrakoot anytime? गए हैं, चलो कभी हम लोग जाएंगे चित्रकूट की यात्रा पे. Still till today, the place where Lord Ram and Bharat they embraced, there was such an intense emotion. The stones on which they were standing melted. You can still see the footprints of Ram and Bharat. And it was a very intense, discussion which happened between Bharat and Lord Ram. Bharat was again and again telling, please Lord Ram, come back. Lord Ram never accepted. He said, okay, at least give your paduka. He had brought a very beautiful golden paduka. He told Lord Ram, please keep your feet in these. And he took that and he placed that paduka on the throne of Ayodhya, and he ruled Ayodhya as a servant of the paduka of Lord Ram. And personally, he didn't stay in Ayodhya. Where did he stay? He stayed in a small village outside of Ayodhya, and that is Nandigram. And he was thinking, Lord Ram will be sleeping on the ground. How can I sleep at the same level as Lord Ram? So he dug a hole in the ground and he slept there. Every day, you know what he ate? He ate barley soaked in cow urine. That's all. And from there, every day he would go to the palace of Ayodhya and he would give a report to the paduka of Lord Ram. Now, this is a nice thing which we can apply in our life. At least once a year, we should go and give report to the deities कि ये साल में ना मैंने भक्ति में ये किया है, मेरे जीवन में ये हुआ है, मेरे बिजनेस में आपको मैंने इतना सेवा किया है, or whatever. It is about developing a relation with Lord. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandan. They are not deities, they are person. So the entire process of Krishna consciousness is to develop a relation with Krishna, relation with Ram. Bataiye unko jaake. We can do this every day actually. रोज कर सकते हैं, हफ्ते में एक बार कर सकते हैं, at least once a month or once a year. At the end of the day or the beginning of the day, कल ये हो गया, इतना ये किया मैंने, इतना chanting किया, इतना मैंने पढ़ा, इतना कुछ lecture सुना, this much I earned. You can say anything to the deities. Yesterday, this was a profit I made in business. This was the thing which I did yesterday. That is a way we can be personal. Then only we'll experience the presence of Lord in our lives. Otherwise, they'll remain deities only. They'll remain stones only for us. The more we are personal with the Lord, the more we share our heart with the deities, the more they'll reciprocate. We should have that faith. One time a devotee in the temple, he was a boxer. तो वो ना एक बार और कुछ भी कभी कुछ नया लेके आते हैं तो ऑफर करते हैं ना कि भाई आपकी सेवा में लगाएंगे हम. जस्ट लाइक कुछ भी आया, नया मोबाइल लिया, नया कार लिया, पूजा कराते हैं ना लोग. सो ये बॉक्सिंग ग्लव्स लेके आया और पुजारी को बोला प्रभु जी ऑफर करना है. क्यों ऑफर करना है भाई? प्रभु जी आप समझ नहीं रहे, ये भगवान को ऑफर करेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? प्रसाद. इससे जिसको भी मारूंगा उसको महाप्रसाद मिलेगा. So it is not about understanding that ये भगवान है. We have to develop relation with the Lord. So Bharat was serving the paduka as the Lord himself. Because भगवान के सब कुछ भी लीजिए आप, anything of the Lord is the Lord himself. भगवान की पादुका और भगवान, they are not different. So he would serve. And in his rule, the kingdom, the prosperity of Ayodhya became more and more. Ayodhya became more prosperous. Sometimes people think Ayodhya was also very, very rich, and Lanka was also rich. Ayodhya was prosperous, Lanka was prosperous. What is the difference? Lankavasis were also happy, enjoying.
अयोध्या में धर्म
तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मैं तो अधर्म हो पालन करके भी मैं खुश हूं ना.
कुछ तो नहीं
सेटिस्फाइड
अनसेटिस्फाइड तभी तो उसको सीता चाहिए थी.
The difference is Lankavasis, they were prosperous but still not satisfied. And Ayodhyavasis, they were prosperous and they were satisfied. When we take shelter of dharma and devotion, we are satisfied. Anybody who is adharmic, who is not a devotee, he can never be satisfied. So Lord Ram and Mother Sita and Lakshman, now they are in forest. They keep on traveling through various places. And Valmiki Ramayana gives a list of the places where they all went. 13 years went very peacefully without any problem. एक साल बच गया बस. Sometimes when we are doing some seva and then सब कुछ फर्स्ट क्लास हो रहा है साहब, अच्छा हुआ आराम से हो गया, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ, शुद्धिकरण बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ. We should understand, Krishna knows when to give test in our life. Tests will come in the life of everyone, every devotee. Nobody should think, मैं तो जीवन भर एकदम हंसी मजाक करके भक्ति करेंगे और हम भगवत धाम जाएंगे. हरि बोल. ऐसा हो गया तो बहुत अच्छा है. But most of the times it is not the case. Lord Ram is himself showing by his example. भाई 13 साल निकल गए, 14वें साल में a very, very powerful demoness, Shurpanakha, came. And long story cut short, लक्ष्मण जी ने उनका ENT सर्जरी करके भेज दिया उनको. And then Shurpanakha goes to Khar and Dushan. And they come with 14,000 powerful Rakshasas. Lakshman tells Lord Ram that you please go and take Mother Sita and go in that cave. I will take care of these demons, don't worry. Ram says, nahi, tum jao. I will take care of these demons. I will fight with them. So Lakshman says, oh Lord Ram, why are you insisting? I will fight with them. I will take care, don't worry. तो राम बोलते हैं, अरे बाबा तुम समझ नहीं रहे, घर का मामला है. बोले क्या हो गया भाई? What had happened? Few days back, Mother Sita, she told Lord Ram, ये आप ये धनुष लेके घूमते हुए चलाना भी आता है. थोड़ा मूड आया होगा उनको भी कुछ. So Ram says, आप लेके जाओ इनको, I will fight. And Lord Ram, he killed all the 14,000 soldiers in 1 hour. Not even a bead of perspiration came on his forehead. And then ultimately, we'll hear next Friday this wonderful story of Sita Haran, and then Sundarkand, and then Vibhishan Sharanagati. और टाइम मिला तो देखेंगे उसके बाद. श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री वाल्मीकि मुनि की जय. हरे कृष्णा.